Bucket submerging, down 2, 1, hold you down, doors are closed. Okay, I'm good, you cleared them up. Should be coming out now, you're out.
Although I always wanted to fly helicopters, I wasn't exactly excited about joining the military. I always wanted to be an astronaut. Those guys were my inspiration. But now, 20 years later, I wouldn't give up this job if they gave me my own space shuttle.
10 feet, clear flight. Rocket's 3/4.
I'm a contractor in my day job. Been doing it for 18 years. I learned a lot of skills that were to come in handy later on. Making good concrete is a real art, and it's fun too. But there's a big difference between a building that will last a lifetime and one that collapses and buries people alive. I've seen that.
Get that concrete moved out. Hey Mike, let's get a better slump on that. Let's straighten it up a little bit.
I grew up on the ocean, played around in boats all my life. I love the ocean, but the water here is very cold, way too cold to swim. The bottom line is I actually never learned how to swim. And considering what I do for a living, people find that amusing.
My grandfather was my inspiration. He flew humanitarian missions in World War II, across the Himalayas into China. He crashed and was lost for 15 days in the mountains. Hiked out on foot. To a grandkid, you couldn't ask for a bigger hero.
It was amazing to see how many people donated their time and money to help build this memorial. We lost some good friends in Afghanistan. They all left young families behind. It's tough. My name is Major Matt Jonke. I do a lot of training now with young pilots graduating from flight school. It takes a huge amount of work to be a good pilot, and you need to be a lot better than good considering the missions we undertake.
Just fine.
Yeah, Bobby, you want to speak from
My name is Stephen Heiklin. I volunteered to become a fireman because I thought it would be exciting. More exciting than watching concrete dry. But when you arrive at your first fire, it's the defining moment. I'm not afraid to tell you, I was scared.
Very good. Captain, navigator. Clear to start. Recommend we cast the ship, sir. Yes, please. Let go forward.
Let go forward.
Slow ahead starboard.
Slow ahead starboard.
Slow astern port.
Slow astern port.
Port 30.
Commander Peter Crane, Canadian Navy. I'm the captain of the destroyer Athabascan. My first voyage as captain was just an overnighter, a short run out to sea.
Thank you,
I
Mr.
took the
Noble.
ship for a spin
How we doing for track there?
to see if I could actually command a warship. The Navy let me do it, because I suppose they wanted to know too.
Starboard Coast Guard vessel leaving the Narrows right now, sir.
Is that the one right there?
Yes, sir.
Ground Beeline 04, spot 512, information Yankee, request taxi.
Beeline 04, heavy, runway 21 right, execute Kilo.
Kilo November 21 right, Beeline 04.
Beeline 04, heavy traffic ground.
Okay, B-Liner 04, copy.
I'm Captain Lauren Ross. My grandfather was in the Army Air Corps. My father was a fighter pilot. My brother and my husband are both C-17 pilots. Before my first flight, I got a lot of advice.
All right, crew, going around. Flaps on half. Gear up.
Today we are looking for an injured hiker somewhere in the mountains above Lake Tahoe.
Why don't you guys check over about a mile to the west?
We have very few clues as to his whereabouts. We're supposed to rescue him, but of course we have to find him first.
Come around to our 6.
Alright, keep looking. There's another set of rocks right out there in front of you. Why don't you go look at that? Will do. I'm gonna bring the tail around to the right, bring it out the left-hand door. He's in the rocks right below us.
Coming out. Good position, going out. Okay, he's 5 feet. 10. Halfway.
Watch out for those rocks, okay?
Copy that. So 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, get his slack. Hold the slack. Slack's coming out.
Look good, guys.
Looking good. Good position. Okay, bring it back in on. Bring that fast. Coming in, all the way. Coming in from the back. Strap halfway. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming in the hole.
Get your butt down.
Does anyone have the target visual?
Officer of the watch, I have a target. Green 20, range 10,000 yards.
Roger. Excellent eyes, Mr. Forward. Confirm he's outside of territorial waters.
Aye, sir. He's not responding to surf warning Delta, sir. Midships, port 15.
We got him?
Aye, sir. Visually also.
Excellent. Good shooting, team.
At one point, they were going to take the guns off these ships and just go with missiles. But nowadays, we chase pirates around quite a bit. Off Somalia, for example.
Got
There's nothing as effective as a big loud smoking gun to make your point, and a splash that lands nearby in the water. It leaves the bad guy with the right impression. The 1st Athabascan fought in the Battle of the North Atlantic during the Second World War. She exchanged fire with a German ship and was sunk. 128 men died, including her captain, John Stubbs, who went down with his ship. If you command a warship in the North Atlantic, there are ghosts down below. The U-boats, battleships, dreadnoughts lay right there beneath your feet by the hundreds. We have a tradition in the Navy that the spirits of sailors who've died in battle are with us still.
Check 57, Travis approach, Travis altimeter 29er.
Engage V Prof.
3.
MCT.
Left, turn at 2100 feet.
The flares protect us from heat-seeking missiles, always a possibility on combat missions. It's all about accuracy. You miscalculate by a few seconds, and your people can land miles off target. The rescuers will now have to be rescued.
Yeah, pressure's good.
Training is all about learning technique.
Let's get it over to the left.
But more important is you learn to trust someone else with your life. Fighting fire creates a bond. It's a fraternity you simply don't leave. When you hear that next siren, it's your buddies calling, and somebody needs help.
Okay, let's hold that spot right there.
Landing on water is essential to some of our operations. We can even load or unload small boats. A 100,000-pound road grader flying out the back door completely changes the balance of an aircraft. Especially if it gets stuck on the way out. That could be catastrophic.
Yeah, pull that up.
We use road graders to build runways to land on, so we can land almost anywhere we're needed. And they do expect us to land almost anywhere.
Swimmer's out of the water. Okay, swimmer's 5 feet above the water. And coming in. Looking good, he's halfway up.
With real people involved, even a training rescue can be as lethal as the real thing.
Okay, swimmer's coming back up. Okay, he's in the helicopter.
The most dangerous maneuver we do is the dust landing. We often have to land in fine sand when deployed to the desert. It's basically a controlled crash. From about 10 feet to the ground, you can't see a thing. I always tell people, every dust landing takes about 3 months off my life.
All right, crew going around, flaps on half.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gears up.
All right, let's try this again.
All right, let's nail it this time. Third time's a charm.
All right, coming around.
Crosswinds.
A little bit of power, a couple clicks of trim. Got gear, flaps, spoilers, we're clear to land.
We train to land on very short runways, a third the length of what airliners need. There is one cardinal rule: never land where there is no room to take off.
Crew going around, flaps on half.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
As you get more experience, you learn to land on shorter runways, and it definitely gets more challenging.
The power control, I'm too long.
Yeah.
I need to pull back my power, but then I'm sinking, so.
Now watch the spool time on the engine.
All right.
You gotta anticipate that.
All right.
It's a short runway. You gotta be on speed. Your speed's better this time. Good job.
Jimmy made out? Watch out there.
One thing to train on a fire, but I would say that nothing prepares you like the real situation.
Hey, Captain, I'm
For
sure you
people in
guys will get
serious
out there,
distress,
but, let's get that
nothing.
squared away and taken care of.
Copy that.
Nice job with the speed, Phil.
We can be at sea for months at a time. The crew gets restless, bored, and homesick because it's all practice and training. You can only pretend for so long, but all that can change in a heartbeat.
We train hard so we are prepared for anything. All of our crews want to help, but it's a dilemma. If you've been in the middle of a disaster with real suffering, you're not looking forward to the next one.
Some people hate the uncertainty of this kind of work. You don't have a clue where you're going next. But I love not knowing where I'll be needed tomorrow.
We're following the breaking news out of Haiti. The largest, most powerful earthquake in the region's history has crippled the country, measuring 7.0. Its epicenter was just a few miles outside the capital, Port-au-Prince. There are reports of toppled buildings there. We've seen pictures of some dead bodies in the streets. There are reports of trapped victims screaming for help. One aid worker told the AP he fears there may be thousands of people dead. Clearly, this is an unfolding tragedy. It seems to be a massive scale at this point. watching this broadcast throughout the world. I hope you can hug a loved one close and thank God that you are not in Port-au-Prince tonight. But the Haitian people who are here want you to hear their stories. They want you to know what is happening here and what will be continuing to happen here through the days and the weeks ahead.
We had just returned from a long, tough North Atlantic deployment. Athabaskan and the frigate Halifax were now tasked to go to Haiti.
Leogane, which is just to the west of the Port-au-Prince, inside the Croix of Haiti.
Time was of the essence, and whenever you're in a hurry, you can almost always count on bad weather.
Yes, going around, it's not really, it's really a non-starter. Right? It's going to take a couple more days.
Speed required right now, so it's 25 knots.
You go through it?
Yes, sir.
Well, soon power both mains, full speed.
Roger that.
Soon power both main engines. Full speed ahead.
We don't know much of the time, but what we do know is one moment you're planning a weekend off with the family, and the next you're going to be gone for weeks or even months. It's tough on everyone, especially our families.
My engine's fine. It's doing real good, ma'am. Okay. It's ready to fly. It's FMC.
Sounds great. All right. I'll see you upstairs.
You bet.
Our planes can handle about 50 seriously injured patients. We airlift the worst cases that can't be treated in the midst of a disaster. 170,000 pounds of cargo. Food, water, medicine, trucks, helicopters. Missions were rerouted from the four corners of the world. Planes came from the Middle East, Europe, Asia, and all over the U.S., and my own unit from California.
Map you uploaded. I saw it. The fuel card's downstairs and the ER. Is it signed, Blackham?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was hardly a single person in the Air Force who wasn't affected by the Haiti operation.
Heavy runway 2 right position and hold it out.
Think we have enough IV kits?
Yeah, plenty IV kits.
I trained for years with my local search rescue team. They never called us up when I was getting frustrated. So I joined with Team Angel and we flew down on our own. We were going to help no matter what.
Now that we had a real mission, the difference in the crew was extraordinary. Storm or not, seasick or not, every single person on those ships wanted to do whatever they could.
It's a long way to Haiti for a helicopter, 3,000 miles. But it was a desperate situation.
altitude of about 6,000, and we expect station at 1509 Zulu.
And here now the President.
I wanted to just make a brief statement on the latest situation in Haiti. At the airport, help continues to flow not just from the United States, but from Brazil, Mexico, Canada, France, among others. The entire world stands with the government and the people of Haiti, for in Haiti's devastation, we all see the common humanity that we share.
Roger, consider this at 9 We have negative cargo upload, but don't know about that until we actually get on the ground. Okay.
After an earthquake, commercial air traffic shuts down, and typically, the non-government paramedics, doctors, and so on have to figure out their own transportation. I got a friend to fly myself and some doctors to Miami, and then we hitched a ride from there.
As international aid agencies mobilise, the rescue effort is continuing. Much of the city has been reduced to rubble, but the airport is still operational. That's opened the way for international aid to be brought in by air.
007.
To the north.
Alright, keep your eyes peeled out the right side.
Staying 88, roger, winds 360 at 5. Clear to land. Next to the runway.
Alright, for this next one, let's try and find something a lot closer. 5,000 feet.
On pourra retourner plus tard. Parce que pour le moment, il n'y a pas moyen d'atterrir du tout.
The first C-17 to land at Port-au-Prince transported an elite unit of search and rescue specialists, including dogs that found 9 people alive in the rubble.
There were civilian volunteers from all around the world flying into Haiti in anything they could find. Obviously, the first thing you work on is trying to find those who are buried, but still alive. Sometimes it's a voice or noise under the rubble, or a family member that heard something. The real tragedy of Haiti is compounded tenfold by one thing: the concrete. It's terrible stuff, full of sand with none of the usual steel reinforcement. Buildings in Haiti can barely stand up under their own weight, let alone throwing in an earthquake.
Allez. Ok, déposez là, ok.
The critically injured need immediate help. When you can save a life, that's a fantastic high.
HalfOU.
The harbor at Port-au-Prince was in ruins, as expected.
Curious as to whether we can
We sent our helicopter out to survey the damage and start delivering water.
helicopter. And what I want you to do. Straighten out a bit.
Clean water was the first consideration for those who survived the quake. We flew in fresh water in 1,000-liter barrels. For without clean water, these kids would get dysentery, cholera, and potentially die by the thousands. We delivered millions of liters of water with the helicopter alone, and tons of food and medicine with our ships. Perhaps most important of all, we gave people a sense of hope.
If one building should have survived this brutal quake, most would have put their money on the presidential palace, a tragic symbol of the political history of this country. There's been no news yet from the president. His status is unknown.
Wow. This guy's just utter devastation. That palace. See that palace down there?
We have had several aftershocks, some of them quite strong, because they can't go back into their homes because with these aftershocks, they're afraid that their already weakened homes are going to collapse upon them.
Haiti, the poorest country in the Americas, lies on the west half of the Caribbean island of Hispaniola. It straddles the Enriquillo Plantain Garden Fault, which triggered the devastating 7.0 earthquake. Locked by friction, the fault stayed put until intense pressure by the moving plates caused the fault to slip. The aftershocks were strong and frequent. Scientists measure the movement of the North American plate westward and the Caribbean plate eastward on average at 2 centimeters per year. The plate movement for this deadly quake measured an astounding 2 meters in a single minute. The epicenter of this earthquake was 9 miles southwest of the capital city Port-au-Prince, and at only 10 kilometers deep, mustered a seismic strength not seen in Haiti in over 200 years.
Makeshift camps went up all over the place. And there was a concerted effort to try to feed everyone. The dilemma was how to get food to people without causing riots. Our mission was to fly prefab hospitals and medical teams into remote areas. People think it all happened in Port-au-Prince, but the earthquake affected almost all of Haiti. In some villages we flew into, nobody had ever even seen a doctor,
Ad for you.
let alone a hospital.
Over here, buddy. Just spread that stuff out. I appreciate that. Grab that.
Good. Where's the rest of your stuff at?
He had just come back from work, and he got home about 4:30, and the earthquake took place about 4:42. He was on the second floor of his house, and the entire house just collapsed with him.
Can you wiggle?
The toughest thing is when you have little kids with crush injuries.
We could try it.
An arm or a leg might have to come off. There are no facilities for fancy surgery, and infection sets in really fast in the tropics. So the doctors are mainly focused on saving lives.
Let's check the popliteal pulse and the dorsalis pubis.
Tourniquet zone.
Weakened ready, if anything.
Got a popliteal?
No.
What about the wound itself? Let's take a look at it. What do you think, Al?
Can you ask Mom how long she was injured for?
It's extraordinary to watch these volunteers at work and the courage of the Haitians. Even little kids who are orphaned and might lose an arm or leg. As a parent, it's pretty overwhelming.
I don't think we can save it.
We gotta try and save it.
Yeah.
There is only so much you can do in a makeshift hospital. Some people need serious follow-up care. They need to be evacuated for surgery, rehabilitation, and so on.
Easy.
This plane was provided by a friend of mine. He is flying out 4 people to the States. 2 would otherwise die here, and the 2 girls with missing legs need surgery and artificial limbs.
So happy for you guys.
Mommy's gonna get the seat with the baby here. Okay. We have, where is mommy?
Mama.
Okay, good. Perfect.
APU and external equipment.
APU is on and in use. External equipment, can you confirm it's off and removed?
Cart's clear. Parking brakes.
On. Pressure checks. Remove checks, please.
C'est mieux? Confortable?
As part of the worldwide relief effort, the U.S. Air Force delivered 19 million pounds of cargo and evacuated over 15,000 refugees.
Aid is certainly coming from all over the globe. Countries and organizations are donating enormous amounts of money. The United Nations has released
أيام مرت على زلزال هايتي المدمر والوقت بدأ يسابق محاولات العثور على الرشيد.
The scale of the rescue effort was extraordinary. Ships from around the world arriving by the hundreds. It's kind of the opposite of war. A humanitarian mobilization on a scale quite unbelievable.
More than a half dozen U.S. ships are on the way, including the Navy hospital ship, the USNS Comfort. Meanwhile, makeshift hospitals have been set up in the streets, and the urgent call for medical supplies remains.
Organizations also sending aid for Haiti through Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. A spokesman for the UN's World Food Program saying that getting supplies across the border from the Dominican Republic into Port-au-Prince by ground transportation is about a 12 to 18-hour prospect. Was itself damaged in the earthquake. It only has one runway. It only has about a dozen parking spaces for planes. Today, an FAA alert warned that planes trying to get into Port-au-Prince could expect to wait to land for more than an hour and that there would be no fuel on the ground.
The most amazing thing is how resilient and tough the Haitian people are in the face of this terrible tragedy. They picked up the pieces and got back to work, rebuilding as best they could. It could take generations to overcome the effects of this quake.
You hold it. Bring out a piece of wood, 2x4, 16 inches.
These young sailors, it's amazing how quick they took to carpentry. We would build a bunk in the afternoon, and the little kids would have a place to sleep that night. Actually, the biggest hit were the swings. You spend all your life training for war, and then a mission like Haiti comes along. It changes your perspective. But helping out in places like Haiti, delivering food and water, and giving orphan children hope for the future. That's not a bad legacy. Not bad at all.
This plane was bringing in medicine. Luckily, no one was hurt. We managed to salvage about 900 pounds of badly needed antibiotics. The owner went back to the States, bought another plane, now he's back flying medicine. And maybe he's not a great pilot, but to me, he's one of the real heroes.
So we're not going to that main area.
When you make a contribution, you might not think it does anything. But to the individuals you helped, it was huge. It's totally worth anything you can do.
Hey fellas, I just want to say how much I appreciate all the work you guys put into the last 4 months in this.
There's always the feeling you could have done more. But moving much needed supplies and hospitals has a lot of merit. And in the end, it probably helped the most people in the long run. Some people think that if you can't make everything perfect, it's not worth doing. For me, the smiles of those we helped are etched into my mind. We've made a connection there, and it's permanent.
Beeliner 16, descend and maintain flight level 320.
Evening Control, Beeliner 16, flight level 320.
I'd like to think that if I was in a disaster, hurt and all alone, that someone would come to my rescue.
On our broadcast tonight, the big one hits Japan, a massive history-making earthquake, one of the largest ever measured. And it triggers a massive tsunami.
In the city of Sendai, the devastation is astonishing.
Nuclear plant in trouble. The aftershocks continue.
Control Beeliner 16, switching 126.7.